It is good to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Welcome. As you introduce yourself to us, let us know where you're coming from to where you are right now.
My name is Jennifer Njoki Cairo. I'm the proprietor of Disneyland Tours and Travel and also Disney Group of Companies. I was born and brought up in a village called Kerarapon, that is in Ngong, Kajiado district. And I grew up there. That's where I was schooled. And I had other siblings. I'm actually the fourth born of a family of 7. And the sisters ahead of me, we actually 5 girls. And there are 3 girls ahead of me could not have an opportunity to join high school because of lack of money. And so I was determined, and that could not discourage me. And so when I finished primary school, I went to work in the farms together with my mom so that I could try help her to raise the things I required for the high school. My dream was to join a medical school. I happened to get an opportunity at the KMTC, but unfortunately my mom could not raise the fees. I couldn't sit there, so I decided to go to look for a job. And I landed into this house where I was working as a house girl. The couple was living in Kileleshwa, and thereafter we moved to Mombasa. They moved to Mombasa, and I was working with them. At one point, my small daughter was admitted in hospital. I also didn't like the fact that my mom had to be in the hospital together with the child. Sleeping there, the situation in Kenyatta, it wasn't so good. So I decided to quit the job and I came back home. But coming back home, then I could not just sit there. I had to do something. So my sister assisted me with 10,000 shillings and I started a small kiosk. I rented a house which was 2 bedrooms, and inside the bedroom I made a window and I partitioned, and I made a small kiosk where I could sell the retail foods like sugars and all the other things needed in the village. One day, as I was looking for the job, I passed by some newspaper vendors, and I looked at the newspaper, and I was looking for a job as well, and I saw this sales job for Canadian Assurance. It was in Westlands, so that's how I had to move to Westlands so that I could be able to actually moved to live in Udhero so that I could be able to commute to Westlands and back. By then, I really survived by God's grace. In the process, as I was doing insurance, we'd move to places as we talked to people, trying to sell the policy. Then I met this guy who offered me a job at the gas station. I worked there for 5 years. And by the time I left, I was earning 15,000. As I was there, I met different people. I could talk to guys because I was managing the gas station, so I could talk to people who were coming to service their vehicles. I used to talk to taxi drivers. I used to talk to relate with the many people who were coming there. And so, in the same case, I started getting interests in business. After some time, still in the struggle and still praying God, I met a friend, and this friend introduced me to another friend who was looking for a friend as a travel partner. As we talked about my sharing what I do, sharing about that, and he got so interested. And so after some time, he decided to finance me, and he bought me the first car. So when he bought me the first car, I worked with that vehicle. And out of that vehicle, I've built a fleet of 7 vehicles.
Now, apart from the car hire, what other businesses do you have, and what services do you get to offer?
Okay, with the car hire business, the money I was making, or like the money I'm making, I thought instead of just having the money in the bank lying there, it doesn't earn me anything. If anything, I'm paying for it to be kept there. So I decided to start an M-Pesa business, and it was the M-Pesa business. I thought it's better because when the money is circulating, the money is still mine, but it's circulating and it's earning me something. So in the same shop, I also added the cooperative bank, Coop agency, KCB, and just the other day the family bank approached me for the same. I've loved things to do with hotel business, and that is what led me to starting a hotel. and I call it Disneyland Calabash. It's Disneyland because Disney is my trade name, and Calabash is because the compound or the complex where it is called Calabash. Thinking of the way I was managing the gas station and a petrol station there, I have great interest on vehicles, and so due to that I started a company where I would import vehicle accessories, tires, rims, and I started the shop for the same.
You've done several businesses. What would you say are the lessons that you've learned?
I've learned quite a lot. Starting a business is not easy. So sometimes it doesn't end up the way you wanted or you expect it to peak so fast. But perseverance is actually the key thing. Believing in myself, wanting to have that thing, thinking that I want it is what has kept me.
Jennifer, being a mother and a businesswoman, would like to know how she balances the two.
It's not easy, I would say, especially now I actually have 2 of my children are teenagers. They really want too much attention, and most of the time when you're not there, they feel you're neglecting them. It's not easy, but I do. I have an early morning where I'm able to have breakfast with my children. I come to the office, and at least for the evening, I try the best I can to be there. I've tried to train my office people, or like the people working in my businesses, that they can work without my supervision.
And how many people have you gotten to employ so far?
At the moment, I have 11 permanent employees, and I have other casuals, around 5 to 7 casuals who come partly to do work and leave.
With the several businesses that she's running, we'd like to know what expansion she's looking at in the next few years.
As far as I'm concerned, I know that in the Disney Tours and Travel, I'm aiming of making a fleet of 10 that will be manageable for me. I don't want to make more that it becomes out of control. I also think that wherever I am at the moment, I'm not stopping at that, because I also need to expand for the sake of creating opportunities to many other people.
You've gone through a lot, started several businesses, and they are all up and running. Please advise young people watching you, upcoming entrepreneurs, on how to handle entrepreneurship.
The one thing I would tell people, and I've tried, somehow I've found myself nowadays giving motivational talks to people. I would tell them, as the man thinketh, and when I talk about the man this case, I'm talking about both genders. So he is. Because in your head, whatever you think in your head, your heart conceives. That is the same thing you can be able to do. So when you think positive, you can be able to go positive. So when you have something at heart, when you have something in your mind, what you want to do, the head cooks it. It's stored in the heart, and your mouth and the work is delegated to do the thing. So there's nothing which is impossible in this world.
After a long day's work or after working so much, how do you spend your free time, and do you have any hobbies?
First of all, traveling is one of my hobbies, my best hobby. I do travel for leisure and for business as well, because I want to have exposure to see out there and so that I can be able to implement what I get out there. Funny enough, I don't have many friends. It's actually, there's a saying which says, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. It happens that as I move higher, most of my friends just drops off. Reasons I do not know. So the thing is, I would say it's funny that my hobbies are actually farming. I like to be in the farm. I have a 1-acre land behind the park. I'm there, and most of the time when I have nothing to do, I'm there. And I always find something to do. I can pick the weeds, I can feed the animals. I have goats, I have 1 dairy cow, and that is my hobby.
Thank you very much for your time, Jennifer, and that was a great story. I know someone and people out there have been encouraged. Okay. That is all we had for you this week. I hope you learned something and got encouraged. Please write to us on the social media pages on your screen right now. Let us know what you think about the show and any comment you have or feedback. Until next week, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. See you then. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.